as I've been growing up, the more and more I've grown up as a young person, I feel like America as a country has slowly turned, well, more certain aspects of it, anyways, has turned more and more into a joke. Our politics, instead of feeling like there are leaders in place that have plans, that have policies, that actually knows what they're doing. Instead, when I look at our leaders and who is leading America, I feel like I'm looking at political theater. I feel like I'm looking at a tragic play or a heavily a heavily souped up South Park fucking South Park ass episode. And it would be funny if only the impacts weren't so real. And then you have our economy, which day by day, economists are saying, like, oh, this economy is so great. It's so amazing. But when you actually look around you, when you actually look at what you can hold, what you can see, it is bad. And it's because it's a K-shaped economy, which, if you don't know what a K-shaped economy is, it's basically a small section of people actually are gaining the benefits and actually feeling the effects of a great economy, but the lower percentile, the where the majority of us lie, are feeling the negative effects of the economy more and don't feel any of the positive gain. And you know what's in that positive shape? People who already have stocks, people who already have assets, who have homes, who own corporations or just work in high levels of corporations where they can use their money to buy assets and everything, or even just lobby the government to favor them even more. Meanwhile, everyone else at the bottom of the K shape, like you, like me, have to deal with the ever increasing prices, the wage cuts, the layoffs, the ever increasing insurance bills, the electricity bills increasing over and over and over again. And it feels horrible. And speaking of electricity costs, AI is also getting bigger and bigger. But when I'm looking around at what these companies are investing in, because billions, if not trillions, is going to get invested into AI, but what is actually coming out of AI is effectively just slop. It is meaningless. The thing AI is being most promoted for is not the labor that people don't want to do, not the not the not the mining, not mine AI labor for like mining or hard working jobs like that. So it frees up people to go to something more creative or more intellectual, more interesting. No, it's all been about trying to offsource all of this AI into creative fields. So so we end up with what? Everyone working these hard labor jobs. Meanwhile, all the creative jobs people are actually interested in, that people put a lot of time into, like movies, like video games, even this YouTube video you're watching now, it's not going to be highly edited. I know that for sure, but there's much more higher quality videos out there. It's just going to be all offsourced to AI, and we're working hard so the AI can work easy. Like, what is that? What is this? I I feel like the world has slowly turned into a parody someone would make up of a bad world in the early 19th centuries or mid 19th centuries. Like, I feel like the world I'm living in now would be a parody they would say in the 1950s. And frankly, I think the most frustrating thing is that a lot of these issues could be alleviated. The people who have the power to just make these issues not issues simply just don't, because they just want more money and just get more and more and more. And it's like, okay, you can get money. Everyone needs money. But there's a certain point in getting money that it starts to not be just, oh, I needed to survive, or oh, I needed to just buy the occasional thing that I enjoy or the luxury thing. And it gets to a point where it's just, I want more money because I want more money. Like, oh, I don't know how many of you guys have heard of stuff like Polymarket, but when I hear about companies like Polymarket emerging, trying to trying to get us to gamble even more, and then I hear them say that their end goal of the world is to financialize everything.
It's pretty much already like a close to 100 billion a year of asset class, right? Like it's pretty easy to imagine a 10x from here. Like we haven't even started. It's been a year. I think a very large number of people care, much larger than traditional markets. And I think retail as a pie has just been growing in the US, and I think it's going to keep growing. It's growing in the stock market, but it's growing outside of the stock market. The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion. And I think if you do build a general purpose exchange that can resolve differences of opinions on anything, like the TAM is quite massive, quite a bit bigger than the current TAM of the stock market. I think putting aside sort of the retail trading and the institutional trading product, like there's sort of this separate product, which is like we are living in a world where like we have an abundance of information, but there's a lot of noise, and like we don't really understand what's real from what's not. And prediction markets are an antidote to that. They do a very, very good job at distilling information and surfacing truth to people. And you're seeing this sort of massive shift where like people are using them whenever they think about questions about the future, you know, whenever they're debating about anything. And I think that trajectory is going to keep going. That's a new consumer habit that I don't think is going to be undone.
Make everything into a transaction. Don't even think about the normal human experience. Don't think about the normal communities that you just go to for fun or just hang out with friends for fun. No, everything has to be transactional. Everything in your life has to be focused on the grind, has to be focused on the money. You can't just relax. You have to grind every waking day of your life for money. It can be your leisure time, it can be work time, it doesn't matter. Your time spent must have some element of either siphoning money off of people or making money off of people. Uh and it's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking because it just feels like by the time as I just grow older and older, I'm just gonna see the slow erosion of the normal of people's normal kindness and just us hanging out and humanity and stuff. And instead, everyone's just gonna be a working drone. Everyone's trying to survive for scraps while there is more than enough money to go around, but inequality gets so bad that 99% of people just start struggling while while the 1% has the majority of the money. As inequality gets worse and worse worldwide, this isn't just a USA thing. Even though I'm speaking from perspective of the USA, I know it's already bad outside of the USA as well. And and with all that being said, it explains stuff like people not going out. You're not going to go out when you have no money to spend anything on to go out because everything costs money. Your wages are not increasing and everything just gets more expensive around you. Of course, people are going to come out less. When everything's financialized and you can't really just go out to go out and you're tight on money, then you're not going to go out. It explains why people substitute that with primarily the internet, because the internet's at home. You don't need to go anywhere. The internet's a useful tool for anything. Learning, social media, ranting online about the state of the world like this video. And it explains why birth rates that these guys higher up on the totem pole are going down, and they care about that a lot because oh no, who's gonna work my factory years later? Like, I don't care. But it does explain why birth rates are going down, because not only people don't have the money for for kids to maintain a household, to get a property of your own that you feel comfortable enough to have a kid with. But even if you do have money, you may not even have time to even hang out with a kid or just do human things, just normal human interactions with other people, because you're just so caught up in the rat race, in the grind, the 24/7 crushing grind. It's just it's just so hard to maintain hope. And even I, as a person, don't have an answer to that. I'm just a guy ranting about how bad the state of the world is just getting, and it's slowly getting worse, and it doesn't seem like the course is going to change until everything crashes and burns, and then everyone's forced to, including the people in power, having to course correct. I guess the only thing I can say that might give you hope is that if we survive all of this, if we go through all this pain, that eventually, hopefully, there's no guaranteed, but hopefully, eventually, there will be a light at the end of the tunnel, because everyone higher up now has to face the consequences, and the consequences are just so severe, they have to actually start making things better for everyone and not just themselves. The best thing I can recommend, though, for you as a person, whoever's listening to my online rant, is that try to better yourself. Try to do something in the meantime that you can do to better yourself. Maybe it's a hobby that you have. Try to see if you can get better at it. Maybe make some money on the side to help you out. It's just I'm not the best person giving advice, but that's the best I can really recommend for most people. Try to just do things that you like, that can earn you something small on the side. Try to do things that just better yourself while the opportunity still exists. And also be aware of the cost of entry, so you don't accidentally trying to enter something that is overly expensive that you just can't maintain. that's all I have to say in my mind for now. I hope whoever's listening that we can still get through this. That maybe in the future we can eventually collectively just band together and just try to enact change. Hope maybe like everyone can just work together and just force the government to actually do something that is tangibly good for everyone and isn't just virtue signaling and just doing things that look good but in actuality is not good in practice. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just living to live, and I'm going to see this thing through because, as sad as it is, I don't want to make people that know me feel any more sadder. So, that's all.